All right, Run Strong Cincy, this is your remote program for the week of July 12th. Your spreadsheet has your warm-up on it. For our day one, we're going to do a little bit of our toe dexterity and our foot strength stuff, in addition to some dynamic flexibility. So after you've done your warm-up, you can go ahead and we're going to begin with the first round. 3 movements in our first round of exercises. You will need your looped red band and just a mat on the floor is fine. So for the first movement, we are going to do a sumo stance band RDL. We did something similar like this to class a couple of weeks ago, maybe even last week, where we took our sumo stance, which is a wider stance. So if your typical squat stance is somewhere here, slightly outside the hips, you're going to be much more wide. You might even feel a stretch in your inner thighs. What you're going to do is your band is going to be doubled like this, and it's going to be upside down like our frowny face. Your feet are going to hook into those loops so that the middle of the band becomes your handle. Now, what I'm looking for here is toes open, as you can see, and then knees over toes. So sometimes the tendency can be for your knees to collapse inside, even though your feet are on the ground. We want those knees to remain open. I'm going to show you a side view because you can see a little bit better. And what we're going to be doing is hinging down to about midway down to the floor and then pressing the floor away. And you can see it's a lot more hips back, belly button down. My knees are bending just a little bit, but my shin angle is staying perpendicular to the floor. And we are going to do, and to make that harder, you just crank the middle so that you have less handle and less band tension. Second movement we're going to be doing is a lockout plank. On the floor, you can elevate this as needed. My preference is always for you to elevate on a chair or on a stair rather than going to your knees. But what I'm looking for is you're starting in the high plank position. So on the balls of your feet, nice straight legs, pushing the floor away, and you're gonna tap your left shoulder with your right hand and your right shoulder with your left hand alternately. So here, and we're doing our best to keep our hips stiff so there's little to no rotation as we're shifting our body weight from left and to right. Next, you will need your band and something to anchor your band on. I just use a simple slip knot to attach it to my banister. We're going to be exploring some different variations, so we will need some way to anchor our band. Furniture, pole, banister, a door will work. If you have questions about how to do that, I'm happy to help. I know a lot of different ways to set this up. And we are going to do a staggered row. And it's going to be same side. So typically we do opposing sides, but today we're going to do same side. So my left arm is set up to row, my left foot is forward, and my right leg is back. So both my left foot and my left arm are forward. They're the working leg. And when we switch, we're going to switch both sides. And we're going to keep that band row nice and close to our body, so our elbows are going to graze our rib cage. Now, our second round also has 3 movements. You'll need your band and your mat. We're going to do a single leg glute bridge down on the mat to begin. Heels a little bit closer to your butt. Upper body relaxed. Tuck your tail under first and squeeze your butt. Get this leg out of the way. We've done the figure 4 variation. Let's just do this week where this leg is just straight up. And we're doing a single leg bridge from here, halfway. You'll see just splitting the body right down the middle. Next, we are going to do a 1-arm band press with a parallel stance. Use your slip knot that we used before for your band. You're going to face away now, feet next to each other. Tuck your tail, and then single arm band press from this position. And when we switch, switch right like this. All right, our third movement is going to be a little bit of standing core work. So we'll need our red band looped around our foot, and then we're just gonna step on. And you're gonna have to play around with the tension here, because what we're gonna do is we're going to shift our body weight into the standing leg, and we're gonna do some knee drives with our looped leg. So we're gonna drive knee up and straight down. Up, and we wanna get our knee, this is my belly button, as high as we can, up towards that belly button, and you're gonna have to flex your foot as well. And pausing at the top, you want to achieve at least a right angle at that hip. So that ends our second round, and then we're gonna do a finisher. The protocol for the finisher is on your spreadsheet, but it's made up of 3 movements. It's a body weight squat, it's a squat pause, and it's a squat pulse or squat jump. So you can choose your intensity by choosing between that squat pulse or by the jump. And it's gonna be a minute of work, a minute of rest, and a minute of work, with each of those movements broken down. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you this week in class.